Alright, this meeting, all the meetings of this council open to the public, proper notice has been posted, given to the press in accordance with Wisconsin statutes, so that citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of the meeting. Start the meeting, or call the meeting to order with a roll call.
Nadowski,
Here.
Appleby,
Here.
Kemp is not present.
Alright, next, make a motion to approve the minutes from August 1st, 2016.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, next, citizen appearances, we had the Weyauwega Lake Group on the schedule, but it doesn't look like they came today.
I did, we confirmed a couple times with them for tonight. They did mention that they wanted to come to this committee, and then when I checked in over the weekend, said, we got you an agenda, are you coming? And the answer was no, basically.
Okay.
Not for anything that, we did or made them feel a certain way, it's just the answer was no, so.
Alright, well then we'll move on, unless they, I guess, show up, we can always talk to them then.
Yep.
Next, we got the municipal building construction update.
At this point in time, we have a pay request in for Immel. Pay request number 11 in the amount of $54,323.27. We still have a retainage of $108,000 on the project, so we still have money held on them. They have completed a large majority of the punch list items. There's a couple small ones left, and then we should be finalizing this project out also.
Okay. Is there any major hangers on, or?
Not right now, this is contingent upon lien waivers, as the other one is. And there's a couple of owner purchase materials that Patrick needs to pay, and then we save the cost of the taxes on that.
So in your packet, in both of them tonight, you've got kind of like a memo on the beginning there. And I've got it up on your screens now, but just a couple items as we're starting to get things wrapped up. They did get the dishwasher installed. And what they were able to do with the dishwasher is they were able to get it under the counter, which was a topic of discussion. They got it in, so we'll say that.
I thought it wasn't supposed to go under the counter.
It is not, that discussion was based on the high heat dishwasher. Because of the plumbing and everything else that we have there, this dishwasher utilizes more chemical than heat. And so it is not determined to be a problem to go under the counter. The one problem we do have with it though is that the power supply right there was set to be like a GFI, which is typically more in line with like a garbage disposal in the sink. And so when we added this, because this was an item we added after the fact, we just have to swap out that outlet. Otherwise this dishwasher would probably trip itself out. It's a 2-minute cycle, it would probably trip itself in 45 seconds. There's a couple countertop issues. One of the sinks in the women's bathroom in the first level was cracked. They changed that out. There's partitions in that bathroom that need to be replaced yet. The flooring vendor was in some of those tiles that cracked or were scratched in the community room. We have what they call an attic stock, extra tiles that we have on hand. That flooring vendor was able to come in and pull out some of those that are scratched more heavily and just replace them with brand new tiles. So in general, that floor is looking a lot better too. The wall finishes were mostly completed in here, which we talked about last month. They came back, they still have a little bit of touch up to do. The HVAC vendors have been in quite a bit. We had some issues in the City Hall administrative area where it was 88 one Monday morning, where my coffee cup peeled off of the countertop, and that was empty and interesting. But then the next morning it was down to like 50 in my office, so it was, an average was pretty good.
Same thing about the average over there.
Yep.
Coming in 50.
And it looks like they investigated some of the wiring and they got some of those issues fixed, so we're in better shape now. The front railing may need to be removed again. There are some imperfections, and what they're explaining is there's some pinholes in that railing, and so they might take that off, send it off to be treated, and if they do have to take it off, what they'll do is they'll put a temporary railing back up there.
So
Yeah.
Yes, here's my question, how much is left, you said, 108?
100,000.
100,000? You know, if we pay these pay requests, is that gonna ruin the motivation and, slow them down even more, or?
A lot of this activity
Do we
within the
have,
last week has really been jumping here.
I mean, do we have like solid dates on when they're completing what at this point? Because, I mean, we probably got, what, one more pay request maybe two?
I'm anticipating one more. Some of this stuff is warranty work too, you know, punch list items. But, you know, in my opinion, if you have $100,000 hanging on a project that's just about done, I would think I would be doing everything under my power to get it done and get it cleaned up and get out of here.
Yeah, well, at this point, I mean, it's drug out now for months, we're getting down to fall, and we haven't fined them at all yet. That's another item, I guess, I'd like to, you know, have a discussion on, because this is drug out for far too long. By their own accord, I mean, they just haven't been here to do anything. And it's pretty damn annoying that we're still talking about the problems instead of the finished product. I guess is the way I feel about it, so. If we were to find them, what would that look like, I guess, would be my question.
It's laid out in the contract, I think the final completion date was set to be May 7th or May 8th, so there will be a conversation about that. But right now, it's hard to have that conversation because that relies on having an actual finished date, and then you can compare it to what the contractual completion date was.
Yeah,
Right now, it's 4 months.
so I guess that'd be the thing I'd push for from IMO, is when is it gonna be done? And depending on how much they drag their feet, I think we should take a serious look at that. So,
And the only other item that we've got is that permanent alarm controller. We do have to set information on how do we want it to work, who do we want access to, specs on the
that's
siren itself.
the right fix, right?
Right,
Okay.
so we did send it on, and that process is moving after you had approved that through Krieger Electric, so
Okay.
it's good.
What about the AV here recording? What's Heartland doing?
Yep, so Heartland was in last week, Wednesday, and completed we had some door access issues. Now, it's not completely related to this contract, but it's part of the project. The issues here, one of them I'm noticing on my own is fixed. Half of these, if you look at the microphones, half of them we couldn't control right here. Believe it or not, I've got full control on your microphones to help you turn them on when we don't have them on yet.
Shut them off.
We can turn them on, turn them off. The problem in turning them off is we only have 3 of them that can work at a time because they don't want one big
Yeah.
recording cluster. That's one thing. The issues in here are that we're recording to the hard drive and everything's being captured, but right now we use a camcorder that is specifically designed to just plug into the computer, feed the video. You can chop it up, chop off the front and the back to get the meeting, and then just load it to YouTube. Here, there's a video component, an audio component, and then you have to get them off of the hard drive first, which we're looking at either with an SD card or with a
Thought that was
disk.
part of the network
It's not
idea that
connected to the network, so that was what we wanted to get, was that it recorded to the
I
network.
mean, because I guess the way I understood everything when we talked about the whole setup of it is that, you know, anyone can control it from their office and see, you know, essentially what's going on in any room, control access to doors from their office,
That we can.
and really access all this information from their office. as
These
well.
dome cameras, we can access from our office and from anywhere, because it's a remote login that we can log in and check the cameras. The door access, we can remote from anywhere, we can control that. The video on those 2 cameras and all this sound though is on its own system.
And they can't remote that in there?
That's what we're working
Well,
with
you
them,
kinda
is how
want-
you get that.
You know, the security stuff you have to, but the meeting things, not everybody needs to access to that.
No, but you can password protect and
Right,
whatnot.
but you know, you just need to be able to lift it off to get it online.
Well,
Right,
yeah.
we gotta get it off of that
It'd just be nice to be able to
network.
do it from your desk rather
Right.
than have to use a freaking card, and then we got cards everywhere that have who knows what on them.
Well, you just take the card out, put it in your laptop, download
Load
it, put
it.
the card back.
Right.
It wouldn't stay out, you don't need to have one
Yeah.
card. You would just have to
Yeah.
Well, he could take the elevator now, he wouldn't even have to walk.
But that's what we're working on. Now,
Okay.
all of the meeting video and everything is saved to that hard drive, and you could pull it up and watch it in here. It's just a matter of getting it off. The reason we got the camcorder running is that we have a backup, so that we do get video that we could post timely.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's not working. Everything's working, we just can't get it off of there
Just
and
can't
put
get
it. And we won't be able to just plug it into YouTube and just run it up. We're gonna have to get some type of a free editing service or some kind of a movie maker, which is what we use now, just to make sure that everything gets lined up.
Okay.
Fine.
That's one thing. The door access, they were in to add a door reader to get into our office. Last Wednesday, that's working. The council mayor workroom office, the reader was working, the door wasn't unlocking though. That's fixed. It was a wiring issue in the door, but Heartland fixed that. The door from the outside into the police garage, like the walk-in door, same issue where it would read, unlock the door, but the door wasn't actually unlocking, so they were fixing that stuff. Door access, I think, is up and running and it's in a spot where we want it, so the card readers and everything. The cameras have been working since mid-May and they're working in a manner that we need them, so that's good. The issue we're having with that is there is a blind spot that I will not publicly throw out there, but we're working on that because the idea is that every public area,
Yeah.
we have the camera. Now, nobody can get into the building and get through without getting caught on camera, so it's not like we would miss anybody, but
Yeah. How's our view of like Main Street?
we can get, oddly, a business across the street had an attempted break-in, not a business, one of the buildings, and they came to us and asked, did we see anything? Now, the problem is when they came to us, they said, well, sometime in the last 12 days,
Yeah.
something happened, and to really catch it, you'd have to watch it in real time, and nobody really has 12 days to sit down and do that, but we've had some interesting events happen out front, just odd things that come on. One day, the dry cleaning delivery service, their van broke down, and so he was making deliveries on the flatbed of a wrecker truck. So the wrecker came downtown, pulled his van off, put it down on the ground, he got out of the the wrecker, unloaded everything out of his van, made his delivery, loaded his van back up, they picked the van back up, and those are some of the things that as you're looking over it, it's like, did that? Yeah, he made his deliveries, so there's
Nice.
interesting stuff like that.
Okay.
Police interview room seems to be up and running. They had some issues with microphones where they were getting a lot of feedback, so it's not a cost to us, but they had to keep reordering microphones. And the only other issue we have right now is in working with the TVs. The intent was that we would have cable TV access in the community room if people wanted that. And because of that wireless system, coax, which is what runs cable TV, wasn't installed all the way to those TVs. So that's something that Heartland's reviewing right now. Is there some other method or something that we could do there? So we're reviewing that right now. Other than that,
Okay.
things are coming along.
Interesting.
Rabbit ears.
Yeah. So I don't know if we took action.
packaging now.
Right, well, we're working on it. Working on it for, I think somebody mentioned the Super Bowl party they were looking at planning too, so.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, why would anybody want cable hooked up to their TV? Come on. That would be ridiculous. All
Yeah,
right.
what did they plan on doing with the plaque down there?
That was good, they were gonna hang it wherever the city
Yeah,
wants it hung.
The finishers were in, and because it's pretty heavy, we had asked that the wall finishers do it because we could hang it, but if it pulls the wall down,
Yeah.
it would be nice that the finishers do it, but now that was probably 3 weeks ago that they had come, they lined everything up. What they would probably do is cut a hole in the wall, put in some extra backing to hold the plaque up, because the plaque, once it gets installed, the thought would be that it would stay there.
Yeah.
But saying it's gonna happen and then making it happen are,
I guess,
That's what I'm saying. So we just need to motivate them a little bit. We need to motivate them.
I'll go get my drill and put the damn thing up. Like,
No, somebody else is supposed to do that, so, alright. Well, with that said, I guess I'll make a motion to approve pay request number 11, $54,323.27 contingent upon receipt of cleaning waivers.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then Patrick, if you could please, let him know, we'd like to know the final date so we can figure out what the penalty is.
Okay.
And I will also make a motion to approve the owner direct purchases for a total of $11,364.21.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have discussion and possible action on cleaning options.
So we've collected cleaning quotes, and I had talked to you about how we were debating or deciding other options in addition to the quotes we had, because a lot of the services that came through said that we needed a 5-day-a-week service. Some of them said 2 to 4 hours, and I think we've had the discussion here. We've had discussions in this building quite a bit, maybe not in the meeting so much, but I'm not convinced that that's what's required. But I'm also not a cleaning professional, so I'm starting to think maybe there's more to this that we're not seeing. We have 4 companies that will come in and do it. Their range for 5 days a week is like $1,700 to $1,800 to $2,000 a month. Before we lock in on that, I had also contacted Dan and Wendy Ponto because they do some cleaning in town. They'll do Pierce and this, the Lutheran school, I believe they have too. I walked through with them 2 weeks ago. We looked at everything that was here, mentioned to them that some of these services said that it was a 5-day-a-week service, and I'm not sure that it is. Maybe 3, but again, it's just my amateur opinion on it. They looked at it, they looked at the floor plans, and then they got back to me last week and they said they think it's probably a 5-day-a-week operation, and if it is, they'd have to hire someone else on, and they're not sure that they're willing to do that. So we were thinking somebody local like that, you might be able to get in, and instead of being locked into a high-dollar contract, if they're in for 2 or 3 days a week and it turns out to be more, hopefully you could ramp up to that. If it's 5 days a week and it's more than what we need, we're probably not gonna be able to ramp down. I think the best way for us to find this out is to get some type of a interim solution. And 3 of the companies, I had dropped them a line, shot them an email, and said, would you be willing or interested in some type of a interim trial period? Now, my gut tells me that they're not going to be. That they all have to hire people, and either they have to use their existing staff for 3 months without knowing if it's any more, or they have to hire temporary people. So I'm not sure that the response is gonna be very good on that. But one of the things we might be able to do that we could probably do on our end is look into hiring a limited term employee or 2 on our end through the end of the year, 3 months or something like that. Now, I'm not sure that that's the best way to go, but I think some kind of an interim 2 to 3 month cleaning process is gonna tell us whether this is a 3-day or a 5-day-a-week cleaning service. So what I would like to do is to have some kind of a limited term cleaner, whether we hire them or whether we hire somebody to do it, but. And if this turns out that, say we hire 2 part-time people, or 1 part-time person, whatever it is, tell them that December 31st is the end of the limited term, or we hire a company that might be willing to offer limited term people. If at the end of it, we find out it's a 5-day-a-week service, I will be the first one here on camera saying that it's a 5-day service and I screwed this up, but talk to Jerry, Brandon, my staff, I have a hard time
A lot of
seeing
those
that
spaces
it's 20 hours a week, you know?
aren't used on a regular day, on an everyday basis. I guess is the way I look at it. I wouldn't be adverse to, if we had somebody locally that was interested in just a part-time position for a few hours. And then as long as they're flexible, that could also help us out with the community room. So after things going through there and cleaning them up, stuff like that, I guess, where you're not gonna really have that flexibility with the cleaning service, but maybe we could find somebody that would be interested in that.
Yeah, it's hard to say because right now, staff cleans when we have events, when we need to take out the garbage. A lot of that stuff we could do anyway, but toilets, bathrooms, mopping.
Yeah.
We had an event, Saturday where family came in, Spearing's family had it was a wedding shower. And so we mopped, we swept everything, got cleaned up ahead of time, and they did a very nice job cleaning up after, so it was not a big problem, but,
Good job, Jeff.
yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, and the other part of it is having a trial period from September or October through December means that it's winter, and we have a white tile floor where people are gonna be walking in and dragging stuff in, so some level of, some kind of cleanup is probably gonna be required. If not every day, every couple days, but through the summer, we don't have mud that's salt coming in every day too.
What's
so-
your guesstimate, like 20 hours a week, maybe?
Well, that's what the companies are quoting to us is 5 days a week, 3 to 4 hours a day, which ends up being 20 hours.
Yeah. And their proposal was what? I
We're looking at $1,700 to $1,800.
If somebody would be interested for 10, 11 bucks, you're looking at 800, 900 bucks instead, half the cost.
The proposals we received, the caveat in those proposals is that we would still be paying for supplies and things like that. So
So it would be,
what you're paying for is the labor.
yeah.
Well, on the equipment. I mean, you might be supplying supplies, but are they supplying equipment?
Yeah,
So
usually
the
they bring in the
equipment-
vacuum, I think, and vacuums and things like that, but.
Yeah, but if it's like a glass cleaning or like floor cleaning and that, those they consider to be like special quarterly or semi-annually services, which they would bill outside of the 1,700 for.
Yeah.
Treating the floors, and buffing, and stripping and waxing and that kind of stuff. It's, the difficult part is looking at $1,700-$1,800 a month and then equating that out to, I did the math on this, but it's, I mean, 20 grand.
Yeah, it's a good chunk to fit in the budget.
That's quite a bit of money, that, if that's what's required, and if we were more confident
I
about that, I
like
wouldn't
that.
have a problem with that, cause that's the cost, but I'm not sure that 20 grand is,
I like the idea of a limited term employee, because then that gives us time to learn better what it's actually gonna take,
Mhm.
and it's through part of the winter.
Right.
So, but I wouldn't say that it ends December 31st, I would say that it'll be under review with a decision no later than December whatever.
Well, you were just looking, so if he's on a yearly contract, you would be,
Would
right,
be
Patrick?
for a limited-
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so you were looking at December
Or actually,
31st of signing
To
contract.
line up, I mean, I'm assuming we'll find out pretty quickly whether this is required or not.
Yeah,
And then the thought would be November-ish, we would be, if we had to go out and update quotes, that we'd be doing that,
yeah.
to then have a
I
January
guess
1
that's what I like, is
yearly
if you can
contract.
figure out a limited term employee to, I guess, get a feel for what it is, cause it's probably gonna take you guys at least a couple weeks to even figure out what all the person's supposed to be doing at what
Well,
frequency.
And that
Right.
person is probably gonna wanna do a full clean out the first week that they're here, just because it is their first time doing it, to see how long it would actually take, cause I know for me, when I've done cleaning jobs, I've taken a look at everything, and then I like to run it through at least once or twice to see how long, because obviously your first couple times cleaning something, it's gonna take you longer, but once you get it cleaned and done, it doesn't take you
It's like
that
you
long.
clean the house in 5 minutes.
I'm sure you can, but if you're in a
I have
professional
4 kids,
building,
no.
you want it done the right way, so.
Well, you're right, because last thing we want is to have cobwebs in the corners, or to somebody, I mean,
Well, and so you need somebody doing the job to
Right.
suggest,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
hey, this is the one thing I really need. To
Right.
get these tall windows,
Right.
I need this.
You know, and it might be rooms that you don't use, you're still gonna want them to go in at least once a week and just wipe down
you're
the
gonna have
cover
to,
and
all those rooms
vacuum.
have to be gone through,
No.
and you have to vacuum,
And
you have
those
to
could be
clean
a
up.
day where they just
No.
pick that day to just do the rooms that aren't used and make sure that they're focusing on the other areas first.
So, do we need a motion or anything on that? Patrick?
So, the question I have for you, or the recommendation would be, I'd like to get an approval recommended tonight on a limited term cleaning solution.
Cleaning solution.
I don't wanna use the word solution, but a limited term cleaner
Mhm.
till December 31st. In the next 3-4 days, I'm gonna firm up are any of these companies actually willing to supply that, and what's the rate? And
Well, I'd be
then Monday
curious
night,
if there's
then we
any
could,
interest too, because if there's interest, I mean, it's gonna be a heck of a lot cheaper for us long term, and, oh, by the way, we can maybe make somebody happy with a part-time job. So, I mean, that would be my,
yeah,
you know, if we can find the person that's wants to and is willing to, be the
Yeah.
best scenario. Cleaning service would be secondary, just because we're already doubling the costs,
mhm,
I mean, just by signing up even for a short while. So,
yeah.
I will make a
Wasn't
motion.
there a gal you had clean your old
We had-
place down
We had a
there?
couple of them.
Or maybe one of them would be interested in.
One of them's here, she's now on the council, so she wouldn't be able to, but, the other one was, Bev Bidley.
Finley, yeah.
Yeah.
I would think though, whether you got a private individual or what, just the equipment they're gonna need to clean this. You're gonna have to have
Yeah.
some, whoever it is gonna have to have some professional type equipment, the vacuum cleaners and all that kind of stuff, and we don't have any of that. Are we gonna go buy all that too?
We had vacuums, mops, those types of things.
Yeah, but do we have the right and enough of them?
Right, well, that's a good question.
Yeah,
A lot of it, we would be, some of these services are requiring that we provide it anyway though, so.
Yeah, you get, like, normally when they have the cleaning services, 'cause we use one at Presto, you got, the lady's got a cart that we supply, the only thing I think that she has is a vacuum. But otherwise, I mean, all the cleaning supplies, anything else, we all supply all that. You know, basically, we'd have to make up a little cart, and put some tools on there and let them go to town.
And we've got one for the cleaning we've been doing now with the carpet, but.
All right, well, I'll make a motion to approve a limited term solution for cleaning.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Where I left it.
I mean, I think you have trouble trying to get a cleaning company to do it because of the fact that they gotta hire somebody in to do it, so.
I'm assuming that, and some of them will only do 5 days a week, and some of them are telling me 5 days a week, so if
Yeah,
the goal of this would be to try to go 3 days and see if that works, and if after the first day it doesn't, well, then we can turn it around and make it 5 day or whatever, just,
change the timing or something.
yeah.
All right, next, discussion and possible action on municipal building storage.
I will ask that we hold that one.
Still waiting on some info. All right.
Yeah, we had some interesting discussions on whether the two quotes we have are the best option. Is there something else we might be able to just buy, like
What are we looking to store on?
files, basically? That's what it would be. So like in the city's archive room, it's to get things off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Boxes of paperwork that we have to hold on to for 7 years.
What's that website? That, kitchen site or whatever you.
Yeah,
Webster on store.
worry about the refrigerator,
Say you got those metal racks.
worry about this. Where'd you buy tables from, we bought, ordered
Well,
them on.
commercial appliance store has
Yeah.
racking and those types
Yeah.
of things.
Like the
Check
metal
that
racks
out.
would be sturdy enough to hold stuff like that.
That's kind of what we're looking at, yeah.
And they're nice because then you don't have, just have a big collection site for dust and dirt and other stuff.
And
It's
go to
not-
Menards and buy something like that, Fleet Farm sells metal shelving.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean, depending upon what you're looking to do.
yeah, we just have to make sure. But I mean, I would take a look at that website too, see what kind of solutions they have on there.
And
Yeah,
also
that one seemed
those
pretty reasonable.
Metal shelves for
Yeah.
the storage units, you're more than welcome to take a look at those once I get them put together.
Yeah.
See what you think of those.
The website has been very good, but we're having some issues when stuff shows up broken.
Well, do they at least reimburse or are they paying?
That's
Okay.
interesting, yeah. So, I mean, for the most part, it's been okay, but there's a
It-
couple tables that get
you know,
dented and then
There's solutions that exist out there already
Mhm.
that
So
we may be able to tap into.
we'll hold that one if we can. That'd be
Okay.
great.
No, that sounds good. We don't need to over-engineer that too much.
Yep.
All right, no offense.
I was waiting for that.
Right, next, make a motion to approve checks, 32539 through 32596, totaling $281,232.14.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Nadowski,
Aye.
Appleby.
Aye.
All right, administrators report.
City Hall is the big thing. We talked a lot about that. The two closed session items we have are an update on the mediation from last week, so we will talk about that. There is something that I believe is the best solution for you to review, which is what the goal was. And then also on the railroad, I mentioned in August that we had a favorable ruling, but we'll talk a little bit about what that means moving forward. So, other than that, the audit was finished. The auditors are looking at coming to give you a report to this committee, maybe in October, maybe sooner than that, we'll see.
And so the next audit should be 100% clean with the new software then? Or
It'll
is
be
it
a lot,
still-
it'll be a ton better, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the items that they identified as being something that we need to fix is our reconciliation with our utility accounts. And
Okay.
so, with our old software, there was some pretty foggy sewer volume numbers. So, to try to report out, we could go into each account and say, Agri-Peer, tracking their volume is a big deal when it comes to them.
Yeah,
Where we could go out and on each account see, okay, well, here's what went through the meter, here's what they got billed for, but if we had to go out for some of our reports, we have to say like all of our residential volume, well, there wasn't a report that would show that. And
Okay.
we can't go with 600 some
so then
customers.
is Ellers working on a new one as well?
They get the reports and they work off of that, so that'll be a
Okay.
lot easier too,
Okay.
off the new one, but that's one of the things is the utility reconciliation and the reporting was not
Just
set up
not, 'cause
ideally
we should
for that.
Maybe see
Yeah.
cost savings there, if the reports are a little bit easier to use.
Yeah. Hopefully, that would be nice.
All right.
But yeah, they're looking at coming, like I said, the two major items that we didn't talk about tonight are two closed session items, so.
Okay. October, I think we know when that's going. Was it the 10th? Do 7:30 or directly following?
It's fine.
Unless anybody has a different idea, I'm open. It's not like a Packer game Monday night, but that week was it? Just checking.
Okay, so we're doing that again.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that tonight when I was going down and I heard the game was going. It's like, oh yeah, gotta be more careful. Any other stuff matters? No?
No.
Okay, well then I'll make a motion to go to closed session pursuant to 19.851G Wisconsin statute, conferring with legal counsel for the government body, who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategies that be adopted by the body, with respect to litigation. And then we will also be going over a, potential settlement development, performance penalty, for for Weyauwega Estates.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Nadowski,
Aye.
Appleby,
Aye.
8:10.